Hi everyone, Donut here, and we have another viral police brutality incident that's been making its way around Facebook. This one comes out of Mesa, Arizona from the Mesa Police Department. As with most of my videos, I'm going to state the facts, and I would like for you to leave your opinion in the comments below about this incident. The original posting by Miss Ashley Hahn says, on the night of February 14th, my sweet 84-year-old grandmother was assaulted by Mesa Police Department. She is recovering from her fourth stroke and is confused, cognitively impaired, and barely physically able to stand on her own because of uncontrollable shaking. The police were called to her residence for a wellness check for a close family member who lives on her property. They were specifically asked not to bother or question my grandmother because of her present and very fragile state. They forced her out of her home into the street, holding her arms tight enough to leave bruises and bleed. Her inability to hold still because of previous strokes, as seen in uploaded videos, inclined them to slam her down head first on the asphalt. They handcuffed her after she woke from her unconscious state. After seeing the damage they had done and sending my grandmother off in an ambulance, they called my mother and told her that my grandmother slipped. The officer who came down to the hospital only seemed to care about deflecting and defending the officers involved. No accountability, no apologies. Then left her with a citation for obstruction. She is traumatized and feels untrusting of the people who she thought would protect her. If this was your grandmother, what would you do? And as you saw, there are several pictures showing bruises on the grandmother's arms and on her forehead. It has been shared 15,340 times with 4,500 comments. Let's see what the fine people of the interwebs have to say about this incident. If that was my grandmother, I'd go on a killing spree. They need to be prosecuted. They say they bleed blue. Well, we'd find out. Oh, Joshua's back with another comment. Drop the cop or get effed. When you hire killer, they try to kill. Fook police. F the police. Hope those pigs get what they deserve. Hope the cops rot in hell, stupid pigs. Pigs. Fuck to he popo. Vigilante justice isn't always a bad thing. Start indiscriminately murdering cops by the thousands. Maybe they will get the message. Followed by shoot cops, not schools. There are thousands of comments just like those on here, and we're going to do this crazy thing right now, and we're going to use this amazing thing in between our ears to do a little critical thinking. As I've proven dozens of times on my YouTube channel, you can't go off of one angry emotional post when it comes to incidents like this. Fact number 1, Grandma was taken to the ground by the Mesa Police Department. You guys didn't know police officers go around slamming old people for no reason? Oh, but there was a reason. I'd also like to point out something really weird about these comments is every time someone posts the statement from the Mesa Police Department or posts a link to an article describing what happened during the situation, it's marked as spam by the original poster and taken down. The Mesa Police Department released this statement. This afternoon, the Mesa Police Department was made aware of a Facebook post showing an elderly female with injuries sustained during a critical encounter with Mesa officers. The department immediately initiated an inquiry and contacted the individuals involved. We can confirm that the incident in question is related to an emergency call for service on February 14, 2018, in Mesa, reference to a suicidal subject with a gun. Officers were told the subject in question was a male and he was in a vehicle in front of the resident. Upon arrival, officers observed a male matching the description provided, exiting the described vehicle and going towards the residence where they lost visual sight of him. In order to help you visualize the incident a little bit better, I'm going to bust out my super advanced, super expensive photo editing software. Police arrive on scene and they see a man in a car matching the description of the person who they just received a call from, who has a gun and is wanting to commit suicide. The person went into the house as police arrived on scene. There he is. Here we go. Boop. And possibly a gun. Police are now in front of the house right here. So what police have now is a person inside of the house with a gun possibly, who is possibly suicidal. Also inside the house is the 84-year-old grandmother. The City of Mesa Police Department's official statement goes on to say officers made verbal announcements toward the residence when an elderly female came to the door and stepped out. The officers are not going to go storming into the house where there is a man who is possibly suicidal who might have a gun. The officers are going to do call-outs to try and get him to come out. Instead, grandmother comes out of the house. Good, we're getting a person out of the house away from the guy with a gun. The statement goes on to say the female complied with the officers' commands to walk towards them. Once she was near them, she appeared to show confusion and attempted to return into the residence. In order to keep her out of harm's way, a use of force incident occurred with the female who was injured. So she was coming towards police, then she turned around and tried to go back in the house. Now, what could possibly happen if she goes back in the house? Either grandma is shot dead and it's the police's fault, or grandma is taken hostage. Now we have a barricaded suspect and a hostage situation to deal with. With grandmother's injuries, it looks like police tried to get a hold of her. She wanted to go back in the house, and a straight armbar takedown was initiated. Now, this is speculation on my part. They did put her on the ground, and she did have some minor injuries from it. Moving on, the reports do say that it has been confirmed by the Mesa Police Department that she was issued a citation for obstruction. The Mesa Police Department also said that there is body cam footage of the incident. I know before I jump to the conclusion in my mind that we should just kill all the police officers, I'm going to wait for the body cam footage to come out. I'm also going to use critical thinking in this situation to see both sides. There's a little thing we talked about on the channel before called objective reasonableness. That is the information the officer has to go on when he's on scene. And this is a very quick moving, dynamic situation. I may or may not have spoken to some people who may or may not have been on scene at the time, and they said that the officer was very apologetic after the incident happened. This is some more speculation on my part, but I feel like the officers wanted to get her from out in front of the house as quickly as possible because of the possibility of bullets being fired outside of the house at the people who were in the guy's line of sight who might have a gun. Another thing that I just want to point out is that 84-year-old people are very fragile. If I was dumped on the ground, my injuries wouldn't look nearly as bad as a person who is 84 years old. And I'm not saying, yeah, go beat the shit out of old people, police. I'm just saying, let's use our brains and think about this for a second. I'm sure the officer did not want to dump an 84-year-old woman on the ground. I hate that it happened, and I hated that she had to sustain injuries. Also in the reports, it says an ambulance was immediately called for her. Before we play the jump to conclusions game, I'm going to wait for more information to come out on the incident. When the body camera footage is released, I will be sure to throw that up on the YouTube channel, and we can discuss this incident further. Until then, please let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'll post a link to the news articles I found on it also in the comments below and in the description. I hope everyone enjoyed my video yesterday of exploring the inside of a gunsmithing business. It was a great time, and I am thankful that Brock and James let me go in there and bother them with a camera for a while. There was also some good information in that video about the vetting process for obtaining a firearm. Before we get off here, somebody wanted me to mention something that happened the other day when I put one of the videos out about the incident that took place in Florida. Somebody got into my comments and said that they were going to shoot up their school. I contacted their local police department and they were taken into custody. If you see comments like that or you hear somebody say that, don't be scared to tell the local authorities. These things can be prevented if caught in time. I would also like to give a shout out to another YouTuber who drew a wonderful picture of me, and that is Mr. Lord Bung. He is an amazing artist. He has some amazing animation on his channel. Please go check him out. If you're a fan of SCPs, it's some really cool stuff. Anyways, everyone, this is Donut. Be on the lookout for my cooking stream tonight. We're going to be making Reuben casserole and Fruity Pebbles cheesecake. As always, shameless plug, you can use your Amazon Prime account to subscribe to me on Twitch for free, and it gives me a few bucks. I hope that everyone is having a great and safe weekend, even the people that left all those shitty comments on Facebook. Everyone, this is Donut, and have a fantastic day.